There are quantum mechanics interpretations that are not about inherent randomness, but you almost never hear about them. They are more or less deliberately suppressed by the science establishment, which is terrified that you will start doubting what it says if it admits that totally different interpretations are possible. Take the Broglie-Bohm pilot wave theory, for example. In this theory, particles travel through space along well-defined paths and at every moment have a precise location, speed, and so on. The particles are not, however, guided by Newton's laws of motion, but by the quantum mechanical wave function, serving as a pilot wave. This theory dispenses with the measurement problem and the collapse of the wave function. With the paradox of Schrödinger's cat, with wave-particle duality, with indeterminism, and so on, this interpretation is causal but critically not local. By putting non-locality at the heart of physics, the theory alienated many mainstream physicists, although they couldn't refute the interpretation. Their preferred interpretation is local, but not causal. Which do you prefer? Which is more rational? You prefer non-local causality or local acquisition? So even science does not actually require anyone to believe in inherent randomness. You do not need to believe in a dice-throwing God. That is an interpretation imposed on science by the philosophy of scientism. If you reject this philosophy, you also reject its interpretation. But how often is this explained to you? Most people believe that quantum mechanics is all about randomness and weirdness. That's what they're told to believe, but they are not told that this is just a highly dubious interpretation and that radically different interpretations are available which completely contradict these claims. Science likes to pretend it is super-rational, doesn't like to confess that it is highly selective in its facts and interpretations, supports the unproved dogmatic philosophy of materialism and empiricism. Science is a giant con. It's a philosophy that pretends not to be a philosophy. It hides the fact that all of its interpretations are dictated by its underlying philosophy, and that a different philosophical base would lead to completely different interpretations and conclusions. Ontological mathematics shares many similarities with pilot wave theory, which could certainly be adjusted and made fully compatible with ontological mathematics. In ontological mathematics, the wave and pilot wave theory is the internal mathematical code embedded within the particle. It's internal coding. It's like the programming of the particle, and this is what determines its wave trajectory. The standard Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics is an attempt by materialists to try and force the results of quantum mechanics to fit their failed paradigm, and it is from the dubious operations. It's required by the paradigm that the bogus concept of inherent randomness is generated. This appeal to randomness is a tired cop-out that materialists use when they can explain something. They can't explain the Big Bang, so they claim it occurs randomly. Randomness is not an explanation. It's not logical, and it's not rational. Appealing to randomness is as farcical and miraculous as appealing to God. In fact, randomness is just God as a dice player as opposed to God as a non-dice player. It's still every bit as irrational and non-explanatory. It still rejects the principle of sufficient reason. Saying that something happens randomly doesn't explain anything. It's a non-explanation. Ontological mathematics does not rely on randomness. Ontological mathematics is a non-local hidden variable theory, these hidden variables being strictly mathematical. Randomness and miracles aren't possible in this framework. Materialists dogmatically reject non-local theories because non-locality is incompatible with their materialist beliefs. They reject any theories that don't fit their materialist paradigm, just as religious believers reject anything that's not in their holy book. Materialists are people who have faith in matter. They have no proof that it exists. Its existence is a mere interpretation or conjecture generated by a particular philosophical worldview. It's not any kind of definitive proven fact. Yet when were you ever taught in school that matter is a mere hypothesis? When were you taught rationalist and idealist theories that completely contradict materialism?